Now this is Tax System, the predatory lending network, talking to you. Now there's only 10 days left till the fiscal cliff and the end of the world and the age of apocalypse. So we're here on Sesame Street talking to some folks about the fiscal cliff. Now Elmo, what do you think about President Obama today making his speech about the fiscal cliff?
I think Obama knows what he's talking about. I think John Boehner is full of crap. I think Obama, they need to follow the direction of the president and stop giving him a hard time. The Republicans are trying to make it a hard time, and they're proud of it, and that's not unity.
Now, Cookie, what do you think about the fiscal cliff debate?
Hard time, I'll tell you, hard time. Hard time is standing on the corner trying to get photos with a cookie because Obama will not pass the agenda. Boehner has a perfectly good plan in place, but it's time to sit down at the table and get some talking done.
Now, Obama recently came out with a speech, do you guys think that we'll actually have a deal? Because it's the Friday before the week, the holiday weekend. Are we going to see a deal before Christmas?
I mean, for crying out loud, make a deal. We need a deal before Christmas because we can't go into the new year with this stuff. I don't think Boehner is doing right. I think Obama has the right idea, and he'll only sign it when it's right.
And you?
I think we'll have a deal by Christmas and everyone can start the new year fresh and optimistic.
Okay, is there any last minute things you'd like to say about the fiscal cliff?
Well, the other day someone came up to me and they said, I'm worried about the physical cliff. I said, it's fiscal cliff, you idiot, not physical cliff. The problem is people in America do not understand the problem and thus creating more problems.
And you could...
I would say, if you don't support your president, you don't support your country.
So this is Tax System, the predatory lending network, reminding you that there's only 10 days left to the fiscal cliff. So watch out, folks, the Armageddon's coming. Now this is Tax System, the predatory lending network. Now there's only 9 days left to the fiscal cliff and the age of apocalypse. Now what do you guys think about the Democrats and the Republicans not being able to get things together in Washington? Well, what do you think, Darth?
As a Republican, I feel like the Democrats just will not come to the table with the proposal that we all can agree on.
And you?
I feel like the Democrats are getting things together. It's the Republicans that are, pardon my French, fucking stuff up.
Now, both parties are going on vacation this weekend, and they're going to be out until after Christmas. Do you think both parties should be going on vacation ahead of this major issue, ahead of the Galactic Senate?
I think that the Democrats can afford going on vacation. I think we've been showing progress with the second term now that we have, and the Republicans, they need to, step their game up.
And you, Darth?
I think that the Republicans are here. We're staying here. We will stay here and get this job done. Unfortunately, the president and the Democrats, they just won't come to the table with an agreement that we can all agree on.
Now, what kind of things do you think they should be doing, that the Democrats should be doing, since this thing has been fighting on for quite a while with Emperor Obama?
I think that they should stop trying to tax the rich at such an astronomical rate and, just allow things to flow at its natural course. Unfortunately, the Democrats, the bottom line is the Republicans, we really need to be in office, so we can show them how to run a presidency.
And what do you think the Republicans should be doing?
I think that what they should be doing is trying to fix what they messed up for the past 2-3 terms since, the other guy was in the House.
Okay, so in closing, is there any last minute things you'd like to say to the folks who want the empire?
Yes, I'd like to tell them that the force is very strong with them. I sense it from way out here. Even when I'm in my galaxy far, far away, I still sense the force is with them.
And you, Darth?
The force is strong with this one.
Okay, so this is Taxes reminding you that there's only 9 days left to the fiscal cliff and the age of Armageddon. Now, this is Taxes for the Predatory Lending Network talking to you. Now, there is only 8 days left to the fiscal cliff and the age of apocalypse. So we're here up at the North Pole asking people about the fiscal cliff. Now, Santa, what do you think about the fiscal cliff? Democrats and Republicans fighting over this recent debate. Do you think they should have took a vacation?
We all deserve a vacation, and I think that President Obama plays a little bit too much basketball and golf. Now, Boehner, he's a man who works. He's working to fix this problem that we have.
He's a crybaby.
And what he's trying to do.
No good.
And look, if you're going to raise the taxes for the rich, the trickle-down effect is going to hurt this country.
And what do you think?
No, Obama's the first time I ever voted. Look what Obama's doing. Let us fall over the cliff. Those Republicans are repugnant. They're terrible. Obama, Obama, ho, ho, ho.
And what I have to say about that is let's all sit down and have a cup of tea, because I'm for the Tea Party, if you know what I'm saying. Wink, wink.
Now, do you think, now I know you're for the Democrats, what do you think the
Absolutely.
Republicans should be doing about this fiscal cliff? Because there's quite a bit of debate with that.
They should be sticking their head deep in the sand like an ostrich and not coming out until they can't come out anymore. Because they're useless, they're a waste, and Obama, Obama, Obama!
Now, what do you think the Democrats should be doing?
Well, first of all, any Republican that signed that piece of paper by Norquist should stand up to it, and they shouldn't back down because they're afraid of Obama. Obama, I feel that what we should do is burn the village to save the village, if you know what I'm saying.
No Republican is getting in my vagina. That's it.
See how they talk? Filth. Filth. This is why we have all these crimes, because the liberal Hollywood, and look what liberal Hollywood does. They're killing this country with the video games, with the violence, and the films. Spielberg and people like that. The left-wing liberals.
Oh, you're Santa Claus. He wants assault rifles. Go to the North Pole and shoot up the elves.
Okay, one more thing I have to say. You're fired. And stop making fun of Donald Trump. Stop making fun of Donald Trump.
In closing, is there any last minute things you want to say?
Obama! Obama! Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas! And Santa Claus, you're fired!
I'm still looking and waiting to see the birth certificate.
Okay, so in closing, this is Taxes from the Predatory Lending Network, reminding you that there is only 8 days left of the fiscal cliff and the age of apocalypse. This is Taxes from the Predatory Lending Network, reminding you that there's only 7 days left to the fiscal cliff. So we're out here talking to some folks who out the galaxy about the fiscal cliff. So sir, what do you think about the fiscal cliff now that there is only 7 days left to the age of Armageddon?
Armageddon? You mean like the movie?
I guess so. Now, Edward, what do you think about it?
I don't really think much, but if I had a thought, it would be we should work more.
Well, one problem with employers now, that because of this government spending uncertainty, employers can't pay payroll taxes because they don't know what to pay next year. And they'll be deducting higher amounts out of people's paychecks. What do you think about that, since the government can't get their act together?
Well, I think they should pay what the honest man's wage makes, and yeah.
And you?
Oh, well, I think we should just, off with his head. Whoever's in charge.
Now, whoever's in charge, now Emperor Obama is taking a vacation in Hawaii along this fiscal cliff debate. What do you think about the emperor taking vacation over in Hawaii?
Oh, well, that's just madness, really. I mean, really, he hasn't had enough vacations in the last 4 years.
What do you think about it, Edward?
I've never been there, but I'd like to trim some of the trees.
So in closing, is there any last minute things you'd like to say about this?
No. I would like to cut things. Yeah, save all your mushrooms and green tea. You never know when you'll need it on a rainy day.
So in closing, this is Taxes from the Predatory Lending Network, reminding you there is only 7 days left to the fiscal cliff and the age of apocalypse. This is Taxes from the Predatory Lending Network, reminding there is only 6 days left to the age of apocalypse and the fiscal cliff. So we're here with Catwoman asking her, what do you think about Washington not being able to get their act together and come up with a budget plan this year?
Well, Washington hasn't been able to do anything right for a while now, so I'm not actually surprised about anything. If they do come up with anything, it'll probably be a miracle, late Christmas miracle. I don't know what you want to say, but I don't really have much hope in it. They're concentrating on all kinds of other nonsense and stupidity and not on what they should be. Who gives a fuck about gun control at this point? Why don't you worry about the rest of the country and about people starving and not having jobs? And yeah, there's a lot more important things to be worried about. But they seem to want to just get involved in other nonsense and not concentrate on what they should. So if anything actually transpires, I think it'll be that'll be the miracle, the season miracle.
Now, speaking of the seasons, the Democrats and the Republicans are both on vacation right now, and there's only 6 days left until the whole budget system collapses. What do you think about Democrats and Republicans going on vacation ahead of this major economic issue?
Of course, that's why they're not worried about the rest of the country, because as long as they have money in their bank accounts to take vacations, they couldn't give a fuck if the rest of the country can eat or not. As long as they can take vacations, then they're all happy as can be. They don't really give a shit about anything except themselves, and that's always usually obvious. They're concerned enough with people to try to get into office, but once they're in office, it's all about themselves. And we all know they get paid very well. So, hey, I hope they're having a good time on those beaches while the rest of the country is suffering.
Do you think any particular party, Democrat or Republican, is actually right or wrong in the issue?
I don't. I happen to, I guess, go a little bit more towards the Democrat side. I've noticed that our Republican presidents have all been a bunch of idiots and have caused more trouble than they've fixed anything. So if I had to really go either way, I'd probably say that, but I don't know, whoever can come up with it, hey, good luck.
So in closing, is there any last minute things you'd like to say?
Yeah, come on, let's do something. A new year's starting. Can it be a nice, prosperous one for the rest of the country? I'd like to go lay on a beach too.
Okay, so in closing, this is Taxes from the Predatory Lending. This is Taxes from the Predatory Lending Network, reminding you there's only 6 days left till the fiscal cliff and the age of Armageddon. This is Taxes from the Predatory Lending Network, telling you that there's only 5 days left till the fiscal cliff and the age of Armageddon. So we're around going through the galaxy interviewing folks about this. So Cookie, what do you think about this now that there's only 5 days left to the fiscal cliff?
Oh my goodness, you know, the Cookie Monster is starting to get worried that things are going to change very rapidly at Sesame Street. You know, Big Bird, he doesn't know what to pay us when it comes time for payroll. So he might pick back from 1975, just a random year, where the Cookie Monster is all of a sudden not making enough money to make the cookies. So the Cookie Monster is getting very stressed.
Now, Obama came back from his vacation, but the rest of the Democrats and Republicans are still on their vacation. What do you think of them going on vacation?
Well, you know, Obama had a Malikaliki Maka, but now it looks like Christmas next year might be Malikaliki Sucka. So if they don't get things straight and get their butts back in the seats, then what are we going to do but just sit around and worry?
Now, there's a major hurricane coming in through that whole area, which may actually prevent the politicians getting back from their vacations. What if that happens and everyone can't get back to do their business because we're having another disaster come through the area? Will that actually compile and make things worse?
Well, you know, I feel like they are responsible in some way for the hurricane because there's so much hot air blowing out of DC right now that it's hitting the cold weather, and the two fronts are meeting and their hot air is actually creating the hurricane.
So in closing, is there any last minute things you'd like to say about this to the folks?
Get your butt back to Washington. The Cookie Monster needs to eat the cookie.
So in closing, this is Taxes from the Predatory Lending Network, reminding there's only 5 days left to the fiscal cliff and the age of Armageddon. This is Taxes from the Predatory Lending Network, reminding you there's only 4 days left to the fiscal cliff and the age of Armageddon due to the fiscal cliff. So we're here with Superman asking him about the fiscal cliff. What do you think about the fiscal cliff now that there's only 4 days left to solve this problem?
Well, I think that they better clean up their act and start concentrating on what they are going to do to clean up this problem. Because when you look at the past, we have gotten ourselves out of debt. And why is it that all of a sudden we can't get ourselves out of debt? What are you guys doing? What are you guys spending the money on? You know, you're obviously not putting the money where it's needed. Put the money where it's needed and everything will go back to normal.
Now, they recently came back from vacation, and the big news in the developments today is that the Senate and everything had a meeting set up, so they're going to come back Sunday night, just 1 or 2 days before everything has to be settled. What do you think of that, about them making plans to come back Sunday night at 6:30 to talk about this?
I think that they need to do more than just talk. I think that they need to provide some action, you know, because talk isn't getting them anywhere. You know, they need to actually have a sit down and come up with some reasonable plans on how to fix this problem.
Now, Superman's kind of a man of action, truth, justice, and the American way. What would you be doing in this situation as the American hero that you are?
I would be putting more jobs out there and stuff and getting more money flow going.
Okay, so in closing, is there any last minute things you'd like to say to the folks throughout the galaxy?
Yes, I would like to say, work hard and build some jobs.
So in closing, this is Taxes from the Predatory Lending Network, reminding you there is only 4 days left to the fiscal cliff and the age of Armageddon. This is Taxes from the Predatory Lending Network, reminding you there's only 3 days left to the fiscal cliff and the age of Armageddon. So we're here with Batman talking to him about the fiscal cliff. Now, what do you think about the government, Washington, not being able to get their budget plans fixed this year?
Not a good thing, I'd say. It makes America look pretty bad. They should have been already prepared and ready to deal with this a couple of years ago.
Now, one of the things you guys face at Wayne Corp is your dividend. Now, they're going to be like doubling the dividend tax up to something like 45 to 55% if they don't settle a deal. Now, how will that affect your shareholders if they're going to be taxed essentially 50% on all their investments?
I think that's going to be pretty hurtful. Of course, Wayne Corp, we do a lot of the business with the government and stuff, so that's really going to affect us, like really badly. I think also not just for us, any big name company that's also... I'd have to say any other big time corporation that does with the government or anything like that, all of us are going to feel that hit.
Check out our Facebook page.
Now, you are a big defense contractor. What do you think about the defense possibly being cut as much as 50%? Since you are a large defense contractor, what would that do to all your employees in the military and the defense sector?
It's going to be hurtful because the reason being, Wayne Corp makes a lot of military gear, such as body armor, some new kind of stealth stuff, and because of that, that's going to like really hurt us back for funding and stuff like that. Get these things out there as prototypes and stuff. So that's going to be hurtful.
Now, you as a superhero, what can you do to help solve this problem in Washington? And you know, you're a big business leader. What can you do to help solve this situation?
I have to say, try to help at least some of the government, help them build them out a little bit maybe. But right now, that all would depend on how things are going. I would say another thing is try to help the government get out of debt as best as possible. If they like ask for like a little bit of a hand up or whatever, I can try to do my best I can to help them.
So in closing, is there any last minute things you'd like to say?
That just goes this does go this way. I gotta say, Wayne Corp better be ready.
So in closing, this is Taxes from the Predatory Lending Network, reminding you there's only 3 days left to the fiscal cliff and the age of Armageddon. Now, this is Taxes from the Predatory Lending Network, telling you there's only 2 days left to the fiscal cliff and the age of Armageddon. So we're here asking folks about this. And sir, what do you think about the fiscal cliff coming up ahead of this recent debate tomorrow night?
Everything will end, and the fiscal cliff will go over the side, and then everybody will turn into zombies. Welcome to my world. Yes, either settle it or you're gonna be like me. Yeah.
Now, what can they do to settle it?
They need to come together. The Republicans and Democrats. They need to come together and think about the people's welfare, not themselves. You're not important. You're there to represent the people. Stop being greedy like me.
I can't think of another question. So, if the age of apocalypse and doomsday come in and the forces come to march across the land, what will you do if this all falls apart in the next couple days?
I will run rampant through the streets of Hollywood, and I will make everybody into zombies. Yeah. What? Yeah. Make your decision. Oh, we all gonna burn in hell. Hurry up. 2 days away, and we fall off a deep cliff.
So in closing, is there any last minute things you want to say?
Yes. When you take a picture, make sure you tip me. Bye.
So this is Taxes from the Predatory Lending Network, telling you there's only 2 days left to the fiscal cliff and the age of Armageddon. Okay. Now, this is Taxes from the Predatory Lending Network telling you there's only 1 day left to the fiscal cliff and the age of Armageddon. So, shall the forces of apocalypse come upon us and reign as doomsday join forces against the galaxy? So, Congress and the Senate are meeting tonight at 6:30 to determine the fate of the galaxy. Do you think they'll be able to come to agreement and save the universe?
Maybe, maybe not. You just never know with those fools. I don't think they work very hard myself.
Now, what do you have to solve this situation? How can they work hard, or we get some new people in there to help solve this situation?
That may be what has to happen. New people who have a fresh idea about what needs to happen. They really need to solve that whole IRS problem. Get everybody under 20% or 12%, whatever it takes, you know. But it just keeps going on and on and on, and it never gets settled. Just like Social Security, they fix it for 10 years, and 10 years later, they got to fix it again. And it's good to adjust things, but they need to have a future plan, not the present plan, you know.
Now,
go ahead, take your time, because you can always edit.
Now, do you think, due to the two-party system, that we should actually look at a third-party candidate? Because everyone says we need someone new, but no one gives the third parties a chance. You know, the Tea Party, the Freedom Party. You know, there's a lot of smaller parties. Do you think those parties actually deserve a chance and get rid of these Democrats and Republicans because they seem to ruin everything?
Yeah, they may be. They may need maybe two new parties, you know, or something. But some of the alternatives are so far like on the fringe. There's always major things about them that you couldn't deal with. But we need to get a confluence of intellectuals around, and just like I said, get a big plan for the next 100-year future. You know, not none of these one-year budgets. Say this is what we're going to do and move towards it, and just go that way. And then, of course, do little adjustments along the way as you learn. But it's kind of like for the last 100 years, we're just treading water. We came to this country, we set it up, and then everybody's sort of like, well, what's next? And no one's ever come up with the idea for, well, what's next? You know?
So in closing, is there any last-minute things you'd like to say ahead of this fiscal discussion tonight?
Yeah, I want to say happy holidays, happy new year to everyone, and let's get our thinking caps on.
Okay, so in closing, this is Taxes from the Predatory Lending Network telling you it's 1 day, tonight at 6:30. The fate of the galaxy will be decided tonight by the folks in Congress and the Senate. So will we have doomsday upon us or what? Find out tonight at 6:30 Eastern. Now, this is Taxes from the Predatory Lending Network telling you that this is day 0. This is the day for the fiscal cliff. We are just hours away before a decision must be made in the Galactic Senate. The House and Senate are fighting, so we're here with Captain America and Wolverine talking about the fiscal cliff. So, Wolverine, what do you think about these deep tax cuts and spending cuts and higher taxes that we're going to see in the next couple hours?
All I know is if we don't cut spending, America's going down.
And you, Captain, are you going down?
I'm not going down. You know, Captain America always stay up, but my think about it, more than they hire up the taxes and think they should to administrate better the money. It's all based on administration. Yes, be more careful with the money you own. Invest it smarter. Don't spend too much money in useless things, and then you don't have money for nothing. Basically, I am tired of seeing the bars of the roads every day. I don't know where my taxes go.
Now, what kind of things do you think that they could do to help solve this situation, Wolverine? Is it more cutting or more slashing or what?
Definitely more cutting, more slashing, and if that fails, we could all just move to Canada. I think it works for me.
What do you think about that, Captain America?
Cutting, I think they should just leave the thing like they are now. Yeah, like I say, it's all based in a good administration. Yeah, think smart in what you do with your money. Not just spend with no control. Yeah.
Now, do you think we'll have a deal in the next couple hours? And what do you think next year will look like, with or without a deal?
I think they are not going to raise it up the taxes. It's too much. It's too crazy. 25, 35, 40% they are talking about those kind of raises. It's too much. It's excessive. Maybe they can, like you say, with a kind of deal 10, 12%, maybe 8, 6, something more, you know, more reasonable, because otherwise it's crazy. It's too much.
And you? Do you think we'll be able to get a deal in the next few hours?
I don't think so. I think we're just going to be fighting it out to the bitter end.
So in closing, is there any last minute things you'd like to say?
Just I want to say, don't lose the hope, guys. Don't lose the hope. Yeah.
Just cut those spending. That's all we can do, Bob.
Okay, now on another subject, what is a better country, Canada or America? No.
Obviously, you know, he's a friend of mine. Well, buddy, we worked together for so long on the superhero business industry. But I'm so sorry, my buddy, but we do better. We do better. Yeah. But we love you guys. We love you. Yeah.
So what do you think, Canada or America?
Well, you know what, Bub? I did serve in the U.S. Army for a long time. I have a lot of respect for the Americans, but you just can't beat Canada. You know, we just stay out of trouble, and we just keep to ourselves, and it's the best place.
Okay, so in closing, this is Taxes from the Predatory Lending Network, reminding you that there is only just a few hours left to the fiscal cliff. And will the forces of apocalypse reign across the land? Will we see doomsday? We don't know, so tune in the next few hours for the great intergalactic decision.